Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shikhar Kanti. In this video, we study something on quotient decomposition of groups. This is a definition, congruence modulo relation. So here let H be a subgroup of G. Let A and B are any two elements of the group G. Then the relation congruence modulo H is defined as A congruent to B mod H if and only if AB inverse belongs to H. That is here G is a group, H is a subgroup, A and B are any two elements of a group G. Then we define this relation that A congruent to B mod H means AB inverse belongs to H, or conversely suppose AB inverse belongs to H, then we write A is congruent to B mod H. This is the relation. A theorem is there, show that the relation congruence modulo H is an equivalence relation. What is an equivalence relation? If the relation is reflexive, symmetric and transitive, then we say that it is an equivalence relation. Then what is a reflexive relation? If A is related to itself for every A, then we say that it is a reflexive relation. And symmetric relation is if A is related to B, then that implies B is related to A. That is the symmetric relation. And the transitive relation is if A is related to B and B is related to C, then A is related to C. This is our transitive relation. Okay, first we go for the reflexive relation. A reflexive relation, what I have to prove here is I have to prove that A related to A means A congruent to A mod H. That we have to prove. To prove that A congruent to A mod H, I have to prove that AA inverse belongs to H. What is our AA inverse? AA inverse is nothing but E. So it is very simple here. A reflexive relation is E belongs to H because H is a subgroup of G, therefore identity element E belongs to H, and E can be written as AA inverse. AA inverse belongs to H. So here AB inverse belongs to H, then we write A congruent to B mod H. Suppose if we have AA inverse belongs to H, then we can write A congruent to A mod H. So that is here, this implies A is congruent to A mod H. This is nothing but reflexive relation. Coming to the second one, symmetric relation. I have to show that if A related to B, then I have to show that B related to A. So that is, if A congruent to B mod H, we have to prove that B congruent to A mod H. Let me consider A congruent to B mod H. Okay. Then by the definition, if A congruent to B mod H, then we write AB inverse belongs to H. Okay. This implies AB inverse belongs to H. Now since H is a subgroup here, if H is a subgroup, then inverse of this also belongs to H. So that is AB inverse whole inverse also belongs to H. And how can we write this here? We have AB whole inverse can be written as B inverse A inverse. So in this case, B inverse of inverse into A inverse. But B inverse of inverse equal to B itself into A inverse. That is BA inverse belongs to H. So if AB inverse belongs to H, then we write A congruent to B mod H. Just replace here. If BA inverse belongs to H, then we can write B is congruent to A mod H. Just we have to replace A and B here, right? So therefore what we proved here is we have taken A congruent to B mod H. Finally we have proved that B congruent to A mod H. Therefore the relation is symmetric. Next, coming to the transitive relation. To prove that it is transitive relation, I have to show that if A related to B and B related to C, then we have to prove that A related to C. So that is, if A congruent to B mod H and B congruent to C mod H, I have to show that A congruent to C mod H. And to prove that A congruent to C mod H, what I need to prove is just we have to prove that AC inverse belongs to H, right? This, if I prove that AC inverse belongs to H, then we can write A congruent to C mod H. Now here let me consider A congruent to B mod H and B congruent to C mod H. A congruent to B mod H means this implies AB inverse belongs to H, and B congruent to C mod H means BC inverse belongs to H. Okay. Now here H is a subgroup, means H itself is a group. If H is a group, then A comma B belong to H, then AB also belongs to H. Right? So that is here AB inverse belongs to H, BC inverse belongs to H, therefore AB inverse into BC inverse also belongs to H because of the closure law. Right? So that is AB inverse into BC inverse belong to H. Now we apply the associate law here. That is, I combine these two elements here. B inverse into B. This is nothing but the identity element. Then identity element is A equal to A itself. So that is finally what I am getting here is AC inverse belong to H. So that is AC inverse belong to H. If we write AC inverse belong to H, then we can write A is congruent to C mod H. So that is, we have taken A congruent to B mod H and B congruent to C mod H. Finally, we have proved that A congruent to C mod H. Therefore, the relation is transitive relation. Therefore, the relation is an equivalence relation. Okay. Now we define right coset. So here, let H be a subgroup of a group G. Then the set we write like this: HA means HA where A belongs to G. So that is here. And H belongs to H here. A belongs to, okay, that is here I will write H is an element of H. H belongs to H. Okay. So that is for every A belongs to G, we can define this set. What is the meaning of this? Suppose H consisting of the elements say H1, H2, H3, H4, Hn. Then this is nothing but H1A, H2A, H3A, H4A, like this. That is, we multiply or we can say that operate by A on the right to each element of H. Then we get some other set here. So this set is known as the right coset, because here we have this A is on the right to H, therefore we call this as the right coset. Similarly, what is the left coset? In the similar way, we write okay, H here also H belongs to H. Right? So that is left coset means we write like this: H is a subgroup and G is a group. A is any element of H. Then we write like this: AH. That is again AH1, AH2, AH3, AH4, AHN. Multiply all the elements of H by A, keeping A on the left here. This is very important here, because AH need not be equal to HA. If it is abelian, then both are same. If it is non-abelian group, then AH need not be equal to HA. So therefore we call this as the left coset. If G is abelian, every left coset is same as the right coset. Okay, this is the definition of the coset. One theorem show that HA equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. Show that HA equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. So that is here, if I take HA equal to H, then I have to prove that A belongs to H. Conversely, suppose A belongs to H, then I have to prove that HA equal to H. Now to show that any two sets are equal, the criteria is HA is a subset of H and H is a subset of HA. This is one criteria. Another criteria is one is subset of the other, that is, say, for example, HA is subset of H, and if these two have the same number of elements, then also we can say that HA equal to H. But usually what we do here is we show that HA is subset of H and H is subset of HA. Now here, to prove that HA is subset of H, what we need to do is we have to take any arbitrary element here. Then we have to prove that that element also belongs to H. That implies HA is a subset of H. And to prove that H is a subset of HA, I have to take an arbitrary element here, belong to H. Then I have to prove that that elements also belong to this. That means every element of H is an element of HA. This shows that H is a subset of HA. So what this is subset of this and this is subset of this, then we can say that these two are equal. So first I will consider HA equal to H. I will try to show that A belongs to H. Okay. Here E belongs to H. E belongs to H because H is a subgroup, therefore identity must be there. Then this implies A can be written as E into A. Okay, A can be written as E into A. Now here E belongs to H. E is here. Okay, E belongs to H, and therefore here this is the set consisting of the elements H1A, H2A, H3A, H4A. In particular, E is there. Therefore, EA also belongs to HA. So that is here A can be written as EA. EA belongs to HA. And here given that HA equal to H. So what we proved finally, A belongs to H here. So here we have considered, okay, let me write let HA equal to H, right? So I have taken HA equal to H and I have proved that A belongs to H. That is, I have considered this one and I have proved this one, right? This is the hypothesis and this is the consequence. Next, conversely, I will take A belongs to H, I will consider A belongs to H, then I will try to show that HA is equal to H, right? So conversely, let A belongs to H, okay? Now here, first I will try to show that HA is a subset of H. For that, I will consider some element here and then I will try to show that that element also belongs to H. So that is, let me consider, let X belong to HA, okay? If X belongs to HA, then how are the elements of this HA? They are, say, H1A, H2A, H3A, H4A, like this. That is an element of H into A. Any element belong to this coset means it must be of the form an element of H into A. So therefore this implies X is equal to an element of H, means let me take H into A. That means H is an element of H. Now, here we have A belongs to H is there. Here H also an element of H. That is H and A. These are two elements of H. Okay. And here H is a subgroup. H is a subgroup means closure law is satisfied. So that is H belongs to H, A belongs to H. Therefore H into A also belongs to H. That is, this implies HA belongs to H. What is this HA? HA is nothing but X here. So that is, this implies X belongs to H. So I have taken X belongs to HA. Finally I have proved that X belongs to H. That means every element of HA is an element of H. This proves that HA is a subset of H. Okay, I will take this as a 1. Next, I will try to show that H is a subset of HA. For that I will consider an element here. I will try to show that element belongs to HA also. Okay. Again, let H is an element belongs to H. Okay. Now here A belongs to H. This I have considered here. Already it is there. A belongs to H is given here. Then this implies if A belongs to H, as H is a subgroup, therefore inverse of A also belongs to H. That is, here A inverse belongs to H. Now H belongs to H, A inverse belongs to H. Then what about HA inverse by closure law? This also belongs to H. Okay. So that is, this implies H is equal to, I will write H as H A inverse into A, because A inverse into A is equal to identity element, no. So therefore H can be written as H E. E I will written as A inverse into A, and I will take this associative law. I will write this as two parts here, HA inverse A. Is this an element belongs to H? Yes, I have proved here. HA is an element of H. That is, here this is an element of H. Therefore this into A must be an element of HA. So that is here I have taken H belongs to H. Finally I have proved that H belongs to HA. That is, every element of H is an element of HA. So this implies H is a subset of HA. I will take this as set 2. From 1 and 2, I can write HA is equal to A, HA equal to H. That is, from 1 and 2, we can write HA equal to H. This is the proof. And similar way, show that AH equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. That is, the left quotient equal to the subgroup, then A belongs to H. The proof is similar. Again, I will take let. So here I will take let AH equal to H. Okay. Now, H is a subgroup, therefore identity E belongs to H. And A can be written as A into identity element. Okay. So here E is an element of H, therefore A into an element of H must belong to AH. But it is given that AH equal to H. That means A belongs to H. This implies A belongs to H. This is one way. Conversely, I will take this one. A belongs to H. I will try to show that AH is equal to H. In the similar way as we have proved in theorem 8, we prove that AH is a subset of H and H is a subset of AH. Okay. So here, conversely, let A belongs to H. First, I will show that AH is a subset of H. For that, I will consider an element, say X belongs to AH. Then X is an element of this, means this cell, every element of AH is of the form A into an element of H. Therefore, X must be A into an element of H here. Okay, where H belongs to H. Now, A belongs to H, H also belongs to H. Therefore, A into H. A is an element of H, H is also an element of H. Therefore, A into H again an element of H. Because H is a subgroup, the closure law is satisfied. That is, this implies, here I have taken X equal to AH. That means here AH belongs to H means X belongs to H. I have taken X belongs to AH. Finally, I have proved that X belongs to H. This shows that AH is a subset of H. I will take this as a 1. Next again, I will try to show that H is a subset of AH. For that, I will consider an element belong to H here. So let me take this H, small h belongs to H, and it is given that A is an element of H. So given that A belongs to H. If A belongs to H and H is a subgroup, therefore A inverse also belongs to H. So that is A inverse belongs to H belongs to H. Therefore, their multiplication also belongs to H because of the closure property. So that is here, this implies A inverse into H also belongs to H. Now, I will write H as H can be written as E into H. E can be written as AA inverse into H. And by the associated law, I will write this as H can be written as, I will write this A outside here, and here we write this one. This is an element of H, already we have proved. Okay. If this is an element of H, then A into an element of H means that that element belongs to A capital H. So this implies, so I have taken here H belongs to H, and here I have proved that H belongs to H. Every element of H is an element of AH. This shows that H is a subset of AH. I will take this as a 2. Now from 1 and 2 we can write H is equal to AH. That's AH equal to H. Okay. So these are the two important theorems here. Theorem 8 is HA equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. Similarly, in a similar way, theorem 9 is AH equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. Okay. Now I will go to theorem 10 here. Show that HA equal to HB if and only if AB inverse belongs to H. Okay. Now, first let me consider this one HA equal to HB. What this implies? Operating by B inverse on both the sides here, this becomes HAB inverse equal to, what is the right hand side? This becomes H into BB inverse. BB inverse equal to E. HE is nothing but H itself. That means we are multiplying all the elements of H by the identity element. There are no change in the elements of H. That means here HAB inverse is equal to H. What is the theorem 8? HA equal to H implies that AB inverse belongs to H. Okay. Here what I am getting here, HAB inverse equal to H. Just think that this is our A. So think that the whole AB inverse equal to say A. Then how this looks? HA equal to H. Then applying theorem 8. Okay. Yeah, this is the theorem 8 here. Show that HA equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. Right? Here, just assume that this is equal to A. Then how this looks? This looks as HA equal to H. Then if I apply theorem number 8, then I can write this A belong to H, no? So that A means here we have AB inverse belong to H. And here you can write conversely itself here, because that theorem number 8 is if and only if is there. Reverse also you can write AB inverse belong to H, then you can write like this. Or if you want to write in one line, we can write conversely, let AB inverse belong to H. Again think that this is equal to A. Okay. A belong to H means HA equal to HB, no? That is H. A means AB inverse is equal to H. Operating by B on both the sides here, left hand side become HA, B inverse B means E. HA equal to, here this becomes HB. So that is, this implies HA equal to HB. This we have proved on using theorem 8. In a similar way, theorem 11 is similar to theorem 10. Here theorem 10, the right quotients are equal, A belong to H. Here in theorem 11, left quotients are equal, then A, that element A inverse B belong to H. The statement is show that AH equal to BH if and only if A inverse B belongs to H. Okay. Now here let me consider this one given thing. Let AH equal to BH. Then this implies operating by A inverse on both the sides here. Here on the left hand side, if I operate by A inverse, this will become identity EH. EH is nothing but H. And here operating on the right side here, that is right hand side, here A inverse into B. A inverse B equal to H. This looks like H equal to AH. So that is H is equal to A inverse B into H. And again, just if you assume that this is equal, this element equal to A, H equal to AH, then using theorem 9, I can write AH is A inverse A belongs to H. Okay. H equal to AH implies that A belongs to H. What is A here? A is nothing but A inverse B here. So by theorem 9, you can write A inverse belongs to H. Conversely, again you can come by like this also, reverse order you can come. I am coming in reverse order only. Let A inverse B belong to H. Again by theorem, A belong to H, AH equal to H, right? Then by theorem, this into H is equal to H. That is A inverse B into H is equal to H. Now operating by A on the left on both the sides here. That is here, if I operate by A here, this A inverse will become E. Then EB equal to B, BH. Right side operating by A here, this will become AH. That is BH equal to AH. That is AH equal to BH. This is the theorem number 11. And this we have proved using theorem number 9. Next I will go to another theorem here. Show that A belongs to HB if and only if HA equal to HB. These are all related to each other. Show that A belongs to HB if and only if HA equal to HB. Okay. Now I will consider this A belongs to HB, right? And operating by B inverse on both the sides on the right here, this becomes AB inverse and this becomes HBB inverse. HBB inverse is nothing but H itself. That means AB inverse belongs to H, right? AB inverse belongs to H. And AB inverse belongs to H. Now apply theorem number 10. So AB inverse belongs to H if and only if HA equal to H. No. So therefore we can write using theorem number 10, I can write HA equal to HB. Conversely, let HA equal to HB. Then by theorem 10, I can write AB inverse belongs to H. Okay, this is by theorem. AB theorem 10. AB inverse belongs to H. Now operate by B on both the sides here. A, B inverse B means AE. AE equal to A belongs to HB. That is A belongs to HB. Okay. And next, similarly, we can prove this theorem number 13 also. Show that A belongs to BH if and only if AH equal to BH. Here I will use theorem number 11. This theorem I am using here. AH equal to BH, then A inverse B belongs to H. Okay. So here let me consider, let A belongs to BH. A belongs to BH. Now operating by B inverse on both the sides to the left here, then we write B inverse A belongs to H. B inverse A belongs to H. If B inverse A belongs to H, what theorem number says here? A inverse B belongs to H, that is HA equal to HB. B inverse A belongs to H means, AH equal to BH. In place of A, we have here B is there. We can write here the same thing here. AH equal to BH or BH equal to AH. So that is B inverse A belongs to H. By theorem 11, we can neglect quotients are equal here. That is AH is equal to BH. Conversely, let AH equal to BH. Again we use the same theorem 11 itself here. Let AH equal to BH. But then by theorem 11, AH equal to BH, A inverse B belongs to H. And you can write A inverse B or you can write B inverse. Suppose if I write like this, BH equal to AH, then these two are replaced here. So that is here by theorem 11, B inverse A belongs to H. Now operating by B on both the sides here to the left here, this will become identity. That is we can write A belongs to B into H. So this is the proof. So that is here totally 6 theorems are there, 6 properties on the quotients. The first two are very important. That is HA equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. Second theorem is AH equal to H if and only if A belongs to H. Then the next 4 are the byproducts that we derive using these two theorems. Okay. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you.